Hey, we're here. Welcome to our final Quantum Masterclass. Thank you so much for joining us. And we are so excited to be teaching you the 7 steps of self-actualization today. So before we dive into that, Dr. Roy, what is self-actualization?
Well, to put it really, really simple, we're here on this planet to become our authentic self. When we enter into the body as a spirit, we start believing we are the body, and we start identifying with the body. And so we lose ourselves. People literally say, I'm not myself. The truth is, you are a spirit, an immortal being. So self-actualization is the path, the true times everybody's been searching. It's a program in your soul to become the greatest, grandest version of yourself.
So it's like a desire we feel inside, actually. It's a yearning to become that,
It's a yearning, right? Because we know something is off. That's why a lot of people have problems with the self-esteem, their beliefs, but they know there is more. They know there's so much more in them and in life than what they see. And we all struggle with that. And once we accept that we are more, that we literally have a potential where everything is possible.
Infinite, right?
Infinite. And that's what I love about quantum, because before quantum, I knew, I have big ideas, great plans, all those things. I felt great. But quantum opens your mind even more to what is more possible.
So I love, we created this beautiful, we're famous for our flowcharts, right? We like putting it all in a simple system that everybody can understand, whether you're visual or you're auditory, you're kinesthetic, it all works. So in here, I see that we say at the beginning, we start out with a fixed mindset, right? So when we often go to trainings, or we're reading a new book, or we're learning something new, we will come in with a certain mindset. And that fixed mindset actually is our least developed self. Isn't that true?
To be totally honest, you are asleep. Fixed mindset is the same mindset for people who believe they're victims. For people who work for success through force. They need to force themselves to success. And they believe you're either lucky or you have bad luck. That's the fixed mindset. And people believe that things are the ways they are. So people say, this is the way I am.
That's just how I am, right?
I am a Libra. I am this. I am that. I didn't study, so...
Oh, my mom dropped me.
Exactly.
Something like that. My mom did not drop me. At least I can't remember.
So we are fixing our beliefs about how life is. And once you're fixed, that's what we literally call living in your own box.
You're in your cage of belief systems, right? Conditioning, all the things that happen to you.
Absolutely. And you will filter the world through that cage. So, and then they've done quite some nice scientific research, even with animals. So if you put a cat in an environment where there's only like stripes in one way, they will not be able to see the other stripes. And exactly the same for humans. Once we're fixed, it's very difficult to get out. So that's a fixed mindset.
So step number 1, if you would like to write it down, to self-actualization is, Roy kind of hinted at it, wake up, okay? We have a moment when we realize there must be more. There must be something more out there that, I don't know, I can't put my finger on it yet. And then we go from a fixed mindset, which we just described, to a growth mindset. Do you want to say a bit about that?
Yeah, so growth mindset is where you have space to change your beliefs. So it is like, if I get the right information, so going to a workshop, some people come in and they're fixed. They don't believe anything you will say. But someone with an open mindset, with a growth mindset, will come in, okay, if you can show me some valuable data or information that inspire me, I'm willing to follow your lead.
I'm open to accepting, right? Okay.
And that's a great, great way to be. It doesn't mean that you're not skeptic. I think skepticism is good. Cynicism is bad. Cynicism is a fixed mindset. It's
actually also pretty auto-aggressive cynicism, right? It's when someone's always kind of putting something down or making it kind of making fun of something, right?
Absolutely. And in the workshop, we're gonna, of course, go much deeper, because waking up sounds like just an act. Okay, like in real life, you wake up and you're awake. In the quantum world, it's not yet. You're not fully awake, just knowing there's something more. It is exploring, and it's a continuing process. Actually, when you look at the 7 chakras, you have to wake up in all the 7 chakras.
So it's quite a process.
It's like a 7-step process that you go through. In first level of waking up is dealing with safety, being safe in your environment, being safe on this planet, being safe in your body. So that's the first thing. And then you keep on exploring, and with each chakra you're waking up to a higher level of consciousness. It's a whole process. It's a beautiful process.
Well, and we get to heal our wounds in every one of those energy portals. So for those of you who are listening and saying, what the hell are chakras? Well, they're actually just energy centers in the body. And what's so interesting about our bodies is that we actually store trauma and patterns in our physical body that can later on in life then create pain. So we've just had that experience ourselves, is that when we feel pain in our bodies, we have to look at, where's this coming from, right? Where am I creating unnecessary stress in my entire system, right? That is now manifesting in the physical. So I think that growth mindset is often really fun, right? And I believe in our workshops, we show that it could be fun because you discover so much about yourself and things start making sense.
Absolutely. And what I would like to add to that, because you said that they are energy centers, but they are not just energy centers. So if you look at the meridians, the acupuncture meridians, these are like electrical wiring, invisible wiring, and they are in the three-dimensional body. The chakras are, I would say, in the 5th dimension, or they're like gateways to our soul. They're actually linked to what some people call the Akasha records. They link to
the quantum field, actually.
The quantum field, where there's no time. So it's the past, the future, everything. And basically guiding us in different themes. Like the first one is about feeling safe, about, material stuff on this planet. So, and it's connected directly with your soul or your higher consciousness in what we call the quantum field or the matrix. So it's like a portal that connects all the information about us with our three-dimensional world. And because of those chakras, we attract situations that gives the opportunity to learn our lessons. And if we are not awake, those situations can be very, very painful. So the more awake you are, the less, I would say, painful signs you need. You can work with subtle signs.
And the less stuck you stay for long,
absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
So what I've noticed is that, our process is always growing as well, right? So we keep going through new challenges to test new skills in us and discover how even greater we are, right? But I've noticed that ever since we are working with the quantum field, it kind of doesn't last as long as it used to. So I remember I used to feel stuck for longer. Now I feel I have the tools to be able to shift it. And I think that's really important for everyone to know, is that when you join our workshops like this class now, we will always teach you a tool that you can use right away, because everything is just so good on paper. If you can't take it home, it's not really that important, right?
And there's one important thing that you need to understand is your lessons do become more complicated. It's just like in a regular school. You cannot expect that you get the same subjects that you get in kindergarten or in the 1st grade. So if you go, let's say, to the college, it gets more complicated.
Will be tested,
right? It will be tested in ways. So your ability to be able to transform that, to go from pain to pleasure, to go from not understanding to understanding, has to increase as well as you grow. The other side is also your responsibility gets much higher, because you are supposed to know.
Well,
so
you
cannot say, oh no, I'm a victim. That game is finished, right?
So once you own you really are the creator of your life, we're saying that the lessons will remain. They'll actually get harder in a way, but you will be more and more equipped to be able to deal with them. And that takes us, if we're going through step 1, waking up, right? We have the fixed mindset, we have the growth mindset, and then something happens that takes us to the next level of mindset, which is?
Yeah, which actually we don't call the mindset anymore. We call it a shift. It's like an earthquake. It's like, because mindset is still coming from not knowing how the universe really functions. So we need to make a shift. I often say in my workshops, mindset is just like the kindergarten. When you shift your mind and become self-responsible for what happens to you. So before that mind shift, let's say in the growth mindset, you will say things like, things happen for me. But when you shift your mind, you will become aware that you created that, maybe not consciously. So there's no one else to blame.
That's where that responsibility part comes in. Oh my God,
right? that's a big, I call that the earthquake, because there's a way you really, because just realize, if I created this, whatever painful situation or whatever thing we're lamenting about in that moment, the next big question is, why did I create that?
Why would I do that to myself, right?
And that's a different question than ask just what is the lesson in this? What what I'm learning from this is really saying, okay, my higher consciousness, which I'm not all conscious about now, has created this for me. So what was the intention behind that? So it goes deeper than a lesson.
And when you say what was the intention behind it, I feel so often we will then believe, oh, it's to punish me because I've been a wicked person, and now this is the karma, right? And then we'll go even deeper, don't you feel? Because we'll then start judging ourselves real hard, and then it goes.
Right, but that's not the mind shift.
That's not the question we want to ask.
That's not the mind shift question.
No. So here's a mind shift question that you want to write down. Write it down now, right? What do I really want?
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm experiencing pain in the moment, it's easy to get trapped in that pain, right? And then our brain on pain is not most functional, right? Instead, we can then literally shift the focus by asking a better question and saying, what is it that I really want right now? What is it that I really need right now? And what do I really want to focus on right now?
Right.
Because that takes your brain and mind and everything else into the direction of where you actually want to go.
And one other thing I would definitely add to that, but we'll get to that later, is that you want to make the decision the way you want to learn. So, I think it's an important choice to decide I do not want to learn through pain anymore. And what's required from that, and that's why the mind shift is so important, is to pay better attention.
To be open for it.
Right, to be open, but also and that's what we also will teach, is the ability to connect to that, call it quantum self or whatever, to actually know where you're going, so you don't need to get these corrections on your path through pain and suffering. And that's the shift. It's like you're totally shifting from things happen to you, things happen for you, in starting to create the things that you really want. And I think that's the beauty of quantum as well. Mm-hmm.
And then another question would be, who am I as this quantum self?
Mm-hmm.
Who am I as the most successful version of myself?
Mm-hmm.
Who am I as the most loving version of myself? And you see, when you ask questions like this, your brain has to come up with an answer. Mm-hmm. So you are literally rewiring your brain. You're retraining your brain to think in a better way, right?
Mm-hmm. And then not only that, so if you start to ponder on who you are, and one of the important things is that we emphasize, you want to write these things down. You want to start analyzing, who am I becoming? Who is the Roy? Who is this quantum self Roy? What is different between me and this Roy? So now we're literally creating a model from bottom up, and most people don't get so far. Most people are into self-improvement. Most people want to do better, but to really take some time, and then we invite you to do so, to really start pondering on, who is that person when I'm fully awakened, fully in my power, when I'm the creator of my life? What kind of life do I want? How do I want to feel? How do I want to think? How much love do I want to experience? Those are the really important questions to ask. And then step by step, you have this construct that becomes your own role model. And then you also have the coordinates to go to that timeline where that already exists.
Another good question you might want to add on your list is, what actions will I no longer indulge in?
Exactly.
So who am I no longer going to be? Who do I no longer even identify with? Because so often we identify way easier with the past than with the future, because we have no reference for the future, right? Mm-hmm. So make that mind shift inside of yourself and say, what am I no longer going to tolerate about myself, right? And actions that I think thoughts that I think and actions that I take.
And also what's important, when we bring back the chakras into those equations, the fixed mindset is basically the first three chakras.
So fixed mindset, first three chakras.
Then we jump to what the growth mindset is, when we get into the heart. And then we start moving up to the quantum, which goes up to 6.
And that's where we activate our pineal gland, right?
And then we're going into what actually you're becoming. So the function of the chakra 7 is to have the information to become, by connection, to download that you in you and really become it. And then what we call the quantum awareness. Then now you're really aware of who you are, and you did a cycle through what we're going to go into the more specific steps. You did a full cycle for why you're here on this planet. And everyone has to go through this cycle. If it's not this life, it's going to be next life. If it's not next life, it's going to be the next life. In eternity, you will keep on coming back in one sense. But remember, the time means suffering. So the more you focus, the more time you dedicate in order to become your best self, the less suffering there will be. So it's not an escape to say, oh, if I don't get it this life, I'm going to do it next life. No.
You can.
You can.
It is a choice.
So we made the choice. We're going to go at it full blow this life to get as far as we can in this life, to build as much positive karma as we can in this life. So that if we come back next time, at least we've done quite some work already, right? And clean up a lot of stuff which we'll talk about later.
And interesting is also that once you access the quantum mind shift set, so that mindset comes in, then you're actually able to dream bigger. We've noticed that, sometimes when we coach people and we start out with them, I'll ask, what is it that you really want? And they'll say, oh, I don't know, right? It's not even, the brain isn't really trained in thinking that big. So what's so beautiful about accessing that quantum level of thinking is that we're able to actually activate our pineal gland, which means we get better pictures. We see better inside of our mind's eye, and we're able to create better because we have clearer images as to what we want. And that's how our unconscious mind thinks, in images. So you want to dream again. That's my message to you. Dream again.
Daydream, night dream. And even in meditation, you want to go to that dream. You want to actually connect to that dream. The more you connect to that dream, the more you will magnetize it, the more you'll be able to attract it and then manifest it and materialize it in this three-dimensional plane. That's what we're going for. So basically, these are the 4 steps in waking up. So
but wait, we have the fixed mindset, the growth mindset. Now we talked about the quantum mindset, and then we have quantum awareness. Right. That's the 5th one, right?
Yeah, the 4th one, basically. So the
4th one. We haven't talked about that one. That's what I was trying to say.
The quantum awareness is where you are connected into the matrix. If you've seen the movie Matrix, it's when you've unplugged yourself from all the beliefs, all the things of this three-dimensional plane, which are all illusions. So you're now looking at the world with a different set of eyes. You're no longer seeing the reality that most people are seeing. You're seeing, like in the Matrix, you're seeing the whole, you see the whole picture, the whole intention of creation you're seeing there. And you're in the game, but you're not playing the game anymore.
You're able to observe the game, right? And create it in the way that you like. So you basically get to create your own rules.
Absolutely, create your own rules.
Sounds too good to be true.
Right, and you can influence the game of others in a better way because you're no longer triggered by it. You're no longer participating on the level where most human will participate in the fight of the reptilian brain and all the triggers and stuff like that. And to be honest, yes, we also have still a way to go. We're not saying here we've mastered this, we've done this. We know now the path.
We know what to do.
We know what to do. And from all the things we've done so far, everything comes together here. So for us, it makes total sense.
Yeah, we kind of completed our puzzle with quantum. So when we met, we started out with teaching and training Omega. At first, I learned it from you, right? And then we taught that together. So the Omega Health Coaching. And then we developed the connection to the highest self. That was kind of revolutionary at that time. Then we took it a step further and said, oh, what if everybody could channel? And then we created the Oracle training. And now quantum feels for us like a puzzle piece that is complete for now. And I think the beauty of it is because it's the quickest way of accessing that mindset that is necessary to start really becoming the creator of our lives.
Absolutely. And then through that also we've discovered more things that we can do for ourselves.
Of course.
So
that was step 1. That was just waking up. So let's move into the other 6 steps, right? The next step is called cleanup. Most people don't like the word cleanup so much because it feels like they're going to deal with dirt and it feels like work.
Right.
So when we look at cleanup, what do we mean?
Well, cleanup, as number 1 rule in quantum is everything is energy. So we have to clean up first our energies, and the way to clean up our energies is to deal with all the stories that we have, who we are, where we're from, what happened, all the times we're victims. So we're stuck for a big part in our past, so all the programming, all the traumas. So we need to clean up all this stuff. And one of the ways that you clean up stuff is just the way you're noticing the way you react. what happens, how do you react. Each emotional reaction, each pattern is linked to something in the past. That's part of the cleaning up. Then you have also the other part of the cleaning up.
We're having the question, please speak a little slower. We have some people who where English is not their mother language.
Oh, okay.
So even if you're just a little slower. And you asked about the flow chart. Yeah, of course, in the Quantum Voyage in October in Italy, or by a live stream, you get this, of course.
Not you only get it, we're going to
work through it.
Because it's like also a journey to the chakras in a different way, in a quantum way, so to speak. So
get back to your cleanup.
Slower.
Right?
So cleanup is inside first, and you start looking at your patterns that no longer serve you, because we still have this whole past hanging on to us. The second thing is to look around you, and then you yourself, you're a master expert in Feng Shui. Is to look at your home.
Well, I'm a master clearer. I would say that I'm not a master Feng Shui.
But okay, so you have to start looking around, because your environment represents also a lot of stagnation.
A lot of stuff. Did you know that the average Western human owns, guess how many things? I told you, so you've got to, you remember?
Not recently, you didn't tell me.
I didn't tell you this?
No,
okay.
No.
10,000 things. Can you imagine that? We surround ourselves with the average of 10,000 things. And the question really is, do we need all those 10,000 things?
So we have to Feng Shui our mind, we have to Feng Shui around us, our offices, our cars. Everywhere we need to clean things up. And then after a while, you pile things up again, you clean this up. And this recycling of energy, recycling of stuff that no longer serves you, like clothes that you no longer use, give them away. You're making them useful again.
Make space.
Yeah, keep creating space, because when we create space, we create openings for the new things to arrive. When we hold on to stuff literally in ourselves and around of us, we're stagnating the energy. And this is a law of energy that we have to follow. So cleaning up is an ongoing process. It is staying, aware of how am I piling things up in my mind, the things I worry about, all those things we have to continue cleaning up. And what we're going to do in the workshop is give you the tools that you can clean up your mind much quicker, much faster, let things go. I think one of the most important things is letting go.
Releasing.
Releasing.
What I love about the workshops is that we can really guide you through these quantum voyages. And the quantum voyages are, of course, about step 2, clean up, but they're even more so about step 3. And step 3 is open up, because it's just so much easier when you're surrounded by people who are all on the same mission to become their quantum selves, the greatest, grandest version of themselves. And when you're being guided, I mean, we love going to workshops too, because then we can surrender our responsibility to someone else and say, you guide me, right? And I can just relax and fly the quantum field. So we've often heard one of the biggest compliments is that people who have never meditated before or have a hard time focusing on one thing at a time find these quantum voyages really healing, because you're allowing your brain waves really to get into that state of mind where it can open up to the quantum field. So the opening up process, I feel, is a very beautiful and gentle one. So it's nothing to be afraid of at all, because we just know how to do that. We know how to open up people to their best versions of self.
Right, and it's open up. So that's step 3. Opening up is a lot, because it's also opening your mind for possibilities. Quantum is infinite. So we need to let go of what we believe that is realistic. So as long as we're stuck in the box, this is real, this is not real, but what realistic really means. This is what I can do, this is what I cannot do. This is in my capacity, this is not my capacity. What if there's a way that you can improve your skills 10 times faster than just by the normal process? So that's also part of opening up, is to discover their new ways of learning. Because the way we've been educated to learn is not the right way. It is just that left brain is half the brain.
It creates so much resistance, I feel, right? If we try and shove something in ourselves with force, then we're just going to create that counter resistance within us. So it's never going to integrate. So we've really learned that learning is done best when our brains are relaxed. And releasing is also done best when our brains are relaxed, because when we're in fight or flight mode, if we feel unsafe, we're not going to release. We're going to clamber, right?
So let's take a question for opening up. So one of the questions is, if everything is possible.
Write this down. If everything is possible.
What do I really want?
What do I really want?
That's step one in opening up, where you're no longer restricting by what's realistic or not, but you say, what if everything is possible?
What if I could have anything?
And the second thing part to that, what if it's easy? Because the programming always is, oh my God, this is going to require a lot of work, a lot of this, a lot of that. So that's the old programming. But what if in quantum, it is not about forcing your way, but allowing things to come to you? That's an opening up. For a lot of people, this is a big, I would say, quantum jump, because you have to change again from believing you have to work very hard instead of allowing things to come to you because it's your right. You already have created it. And you become the person who owns that, what you really want. That's a big shift as well.
And then what else am I able to do? What if you could have that and do something else? What would that be? Write it down.
So opening up is fascinating. And like the other steps, it's a process. It's not like you open up once and it's done.
Done. One download.
It's also not like cleaning up. You open up once, you clean up once, it's done. These are processes that goes on simultaneously for a long time until your mind is stretched so far out that it cannot go back, and you're open to all the infinite possibilities, and you get to choose what is it that, because when you start choosing, you still start choosing from your limitations.
Usually, yeah.
Right. So as you're opening up more, you must say, maybe I want this too.
Maybe I should ask for more here.
Yeah. But also opening up is also the question, how can I contribute more? How can I give more? Because often there we're also limiting, because we all look like in time, we're stressing time, we're stressing money. But the more you're willing to give means just one thing, the more you're willing to receive. I cannot give more than I have. If I give more, I receive more. And this is one of the law in quantums. And the universe, and this is my take on it, is the universe is looking for channels to make this world a better world.
Yes, because this world is suffering.
Yeah,
so we need more people who are tapped into their true potential so we can create true change.
So we volunteered right away.
Yeah, we put ourselves out there with a lot of other wonderful people. So
yeah, of course,
we're a whole army of light warriors, I feel, right?
So step 4.
This has taken us so beautifully, because you were saying, it takes that mind shift again, that we then go into thinking, how could I contribute, right? What if I was an amazing person? Wouldn't I want to share that, right? Wouldn't I want to do good? And that takes us into step 4, and that is when we grow up. So we kind of leave our identity of our little selves, our victim selves, our inner children,
our self-image,
right? Oh, little me,
self-worth.
We grow out of that, and we recognize, wow, I have immense powers and immense love in me. And when I contribute to this planet, I can do good, and I'm helping myself at the same time. So we also come from a mindset of more win-win then, rather than trying to keep others small just to feel bigger ourselves.
Right. And growing up is also multifaceted. So I think one big part of growing up is, number one, to look how you react to the world, your emotional patterns. And the question you keep asking yourself, how would I behave? How would I do? How would I feel if I'm my quantum self? Because the quantum self is the model for you in the most grown-up state. So that's always a two-way communication. So it's like having this coach, or you can say the angel on your shoulder, that is whispering in your ear how to deal with certain situations. And you start understanding the difference, for example, between impatience and patience and relaxation. A grow-up state is, you don't need to be patient because you have trust. You trust that everything is going to be perfect and okay as it has to be. So it's a whole beautiful phase to go through as well, growing up.
And it's also the phase when we overcome our reptilian brain most, isn't it?
Absolutely.
When we step out of that fear concept and go into what would be possible if I had unshakable faith?
Yeah.
And then it's just way easier to be even coming from the heart. Sometimes we've cut ourselves off from our own heart's desires because we're scared of them. Because we say, if I own that I really desire that, I might have to do something about it.
Absolutely.
And that means I might have to change something. And when we create change, or when we even desire change, our reptilian brain is going to go, no, don't do it. Right? So in growing up, we learn to retrain the brain to overcome that reflex. And drop into that space of I have faith. Okay.
Super.
So
no,
step number
ready.
5. When we have grown up,
yeah,
what do we do then?
Then we have to show up.
Show up.
And it works in different ways. Number one is you have to trust your intuition in such a way that you follow your intuition without questioning. So if, let's say I would wake up this morning and then I get this message, I need to be in some place at 10. That's the only message I got. Let's say Starbucks in Charlotte Street. Be there at 10. Well, I will be there at 10.
Because you've learned to trust.
I learned to trust. So that's what we call showing up. Showing up is also being aware of what's showing up in your field, because the universe speaks different languages. So the rule is nothing happens by coincidence.
So it's sometimes not the voice in the head. It's sometimes something you're reading in a newspaper, or it's a song you hear in the radio. It's anything that that suddenly catches your attention. Right. If you pay attention then and ask a good question, like, how is this serving me right now? Or what is the best message for me to translate into action right now? Then you're actually training your brain again to show up at the right time in the right place, and to be guided in such a way more effortless way, don't you feel?
I know what I really liked is a recent example from you where, you know, you went to this physical therapist, you were somewhere, you meet this guy, he invites you, go there. A total transformation. That was showing up.
I've been having a lot of synchronicities, and for me, synchronicities always mean that I'm on the right path. That you know, I'm spiraling up again. And even if I'm in areas of pain, if you notice synchronicities, you're noticing the way out of pain again. So yeah, that was a beautiful example. Even the example of today, actually, we decided to donate to a charity here in Astral, right? In the name of one of our dear friends and assistants, Wan Shou from China. And I got that message in a meditation just a few days ago. I said, we've got to donate to Open Doors. Now, today I was telling Roy that Open Doors, that charity, was on my vision board. It's been on there for 5 years. And I kind of stuck it on there because I liked the charity, but I never really did anything with it. And then today I get a text message from the owner and one of the biggest philanthropists there saying, hey, Joy, thank you so much for your donation. And I really want to connect with you because I work together and maybe you'd like to support us in person, which is exactly what I wanted, because I want to work with children more. And the funniest thing is, it's an old mom from one of Gracie's friends at school. So the whole cycle was closed today, and that can only happen if we have that faith to listen when it counts.
Exactly. So that's showing up.
Showing up.
It's unshakable faith in your intuition, follow the instructions, and it's sensory acuity, paying attention to what's happening around you, because the universe will guide you exactly where you need to be in exactly the right time.
So then, now that we've shown up, we can take step 6. And step 6 is powering up. Tell us about that.
I like that term because it's like charging yourself up. And what it really means in powering up is that you are awakening qualities in you that were sleeping. And then so you bring them back to power. Because of our beliefs. Let's take something simple. Like I would say I'm bad in languages. Is that true? If you say
that to yourself.
Right, is that true? In powering up, you're not bad in anything. Some people are more natural gifted, and some people just have to, let's say, work a little bit harder. But once you understand quantum, it becomes more joyous. So it's powering up, getting those skills that you need, the qualities. And we have a system we call the Rykov method, where we learn to download skills, either from our quantum cells or from a past life or from some other role model that we have. So we're powering her up, so we become literally more and more the best self that we can be. And power up means also not forcing. It has to go with grace, ease, and joy. It is getting to charge. So it's changing your vibration on a deep identity level and becoming more sure about yourself.
So that sounds really fancy pants. But you know what what I feel is so comforting about powering up, because it means that you're never alone, and you don't have to do it alone. You don't have to do it on a human level. You have to do it on an energetic level. And when you're in the state of powering up, you have that connection to the quantum field.
Absolutely.
Right? And you can be very specific in what it is that you want from the quantum field, because often we just don't ask for the right things. We don't ask for help. You humans suck at asking for help, right? And then we usually ask for the wrong things, and we ask for the too smaller things. But in powering up, you're opening up your channels. So all those energy portals, your brain, your mind, to the possibility that you could have endless energy. You really are that infinite. And that's a really difficult thing to wrap your heads around at the beginning. But then I noticed that also healing becomes so much more easy, because we are no longer thinking that it's something I have to fix in myself to become well again. It's more about how much can I allow the divine, the quantum field, whatever name you want to give it, how can I allow that to come into my life more? Because the ones cutting themselves off from the quantum field are us ourselves, right? It's always there. But we have all these interesting ideas and stories that we're telling ourselves about why we shouldn't have that flow of abundance, that flow of ease, that flow of peace in life. And in powering up, we learn how to be that channel of that energy.
And part of it is also to use, all that's available to you. A lot of people, there's so much invisible forces in the quantum field that want to support us, but they can only support us if we allow them to support us. So that's a great way. And that goes
I have a question for that, right?
Yeah.
So we received a question which fits so perfectly here. It says, there you go. Quantum is confusing for me. I like working with angels, and I know you do too, Joy. Are there angels in quantum?
That's exactly the power up. So there's many things we talk in quantum about, of course, vibrations, frequencies, dimensions, all those kind of things. So we can tune into specific energies as well. Angels are a specific band of energy. Now, the whole question is, what is an angel? So in quantum, we will say angels are beings in the fifth dimensional world that are there to support us. They have all kinds of different energies that when we allow them in our field, literally, then things go smoother, easier, depending what's at hand and what we want them to help us in.
So it's more about us tuning into the right vibrations so that the other vibrations find their way to us rather than, got it. So I think that's so well explained now. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we got power up. So now we can move on to step 7.
So each of these steps go to the chakra. So now we are at chakra 7. And there we say, be up.
See how you went straight when you said be up, be up.
So Gandhi said, become the change, be the change. So you have to be up in that frequency. You have to become fully and own who you are. And that's where you're fully actualized in all levels in all dimensions at the same time. You're totally connected. You know who you are, and there's no one who can come and change that. You are up. Nobody can take you down, because there's no way down. There's only one way, and that's up. So what I like here about that is that now you become the true leader. You become the true person that inspires. And the beauty of this state is, it is not what you do. It is who you are that creates the most change. So just being present is already influencing. And in quantum, we know that the observer influences the observed. So the question is, how are you observing? Are you observing from love? Are you observing from your past? Are you observing with a question from need? Or are you observing from connection? And you will see a different picture when you connect it fully.
Change your mind, change your reality.
Exactly.
Right? We've heard that one before, haven't we? So I see be up as that state of total congruency. So, we have this interesting brain of ours, and then we have the conscious mind and the unconscious mind, right? And when those two don't work together, so they're maybe in conflict with each other, then we don't get what we really want. But in be up, we have created total congruency in our brains between conscious mind, unconscious mind, in our bodies. So we have our energy portals all in alignment, and we're connected to our hearts, which tells us what we really need and want. And the brain is just there actually to figure out a way. But so often we go the wrong way, right? We'll go up here and then we stay stuck, and then it just all goes haywire. And this actually is our invitation to you, to help you get aligned again and help you get connected to that sea of infinite possibilities.
Absolutely. And this is what we'll be doing in these 4 days. And of course, in 45 minutes, we can only touch upon them. And we hope we inspire you, and also hope you inspired to share this video with your friends, because it's so useful just to understand these
where
steps,
you are, right?
and then where you are, and to see where you need to go. And maybe we can.
And we have a gift as well. So you'll see that in the comments later on. You'll see we have a free gift for all those of you who are watching this masterclass. And it's one of our favorite meditations. It's the dragon meditation. You get to fly on a dragon. I think you speak it. It's a really beautiful, fun meditation that helps you get out of that fixed mindset and helps you open up to dreaming, to the potential that's actually out there for you.
Shall we just quickly go to some questions?
Absolutely. So we've covered those 7 steps, and you were saying those 4 days. What we're talking about is the October training, which is called Quantum Voyage, right? And in that Quantum Voyage, we will be walking you, take you by the hand through these 7 steps, and doing much more, of course, as well, but making sure that you really have made that quantum jump from wherever you are right now, a good jump closer to where you want to go, and that you get the tools to help yourself at home. That's really important to us. So we've had the 7 steps. Now I have another question for you. Okay, so I checked your training in Italy. It's 4 days. I'm interested in personal development, but I'm a business owner. I don't want to become a coach. So what do you have as advice?
Number one, it is not what you want to become or not. Everybody's a coach, but most people are bad coaches. Okay, let's say that. Yeah, and I say most people, in the sense that, you know, it is not teaching you a profession of coaching. Actually, we're going to take you to 3 modules where it's all about you, about your personal growth.
So you're coaching yourself,
right?
Actually.
You're coaching yourself. In the 4th module, you will also learn if someone else is in trouble, how to help them. And we all have family, friends. It's not, you don't have to become a coach, like professional coach. No. But we all are coaches. We all have friends. We have children. We have family. So in a way, coaching is a capacity that we all have to do in any way.
Do you know what a smart person once said? They said that our life's purpose, actually for everyone, is to teach. And I thought, really? Everybody's a teacher? And I thought, yeah, but it's true. Because you see, if we learn something and we keep it for ourselves, it's really selfish. So by passing it on to others, we are raising our frequencies and theirs at the same time, which means that we all rise. Nice.
So in the business, your business will only go better if you understand quantum. That's the whole point.
I have proof for that. This morning I had a coaching call with one of my Chinese clients, and she said her main mission is something completely else, right? So she has a different goal in coaching. But she says, you know what, Jai, it's crazy. Ever since we've done our sessions, I am making so much more money. And that wasn't even one of my goals, because it's actually a health goal that she has. But that happens, right? Because all the parts of our lives are connected to each other. If you feel happier, your relationships are happier, you make wiser choices, you look after your body better, right? So you're elevating everything. Good question, right? Okay, then we have blah, 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 blah. Okay, Lisa from China. I love quantum because it now makes so much sense to me and it's all clearer. I have a tumor in my ovaries. Can I use quantum to help heal myself?
Absolutely. I mean, quantum is applying to everything. Once we understand quantum, we can use it for healing ourselves, even to create the future that you want. So just think about it. You are the creator. You created the tumor. So now we're going to figure out, why do we create the tumor, learn from it, and then create what really the lesson is. So in a way, with grace, ease, and joy. So quantum is perfect also for healing.
You were real fast there.
Okay, let me repeat.
No.
Yeah,
and why is quantum good for healing? Because what you're learning is you're learning to tune into higher vibrations than where you are right now. And higher vibrations means that your body is getting that impulse to activate its self-healing powers. So you're actually using divine energy. You're using prayer. You're using that relaxed brainwave state to be able to access healing frequencies.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So, and remember, you are creating the future where you're going. So, yes, you have a tumor now. How do you want your future to be? And that's also quantum.
Okay, then we have Peter from Germany.
Peter.
We Germans can be very skeptic. Isn't quantum just another imaginary trick, like the law of attraction? I'm an engineer. I'm 54 years old. It was like, come on, stop kidding me, right? I cannot imagine changing my future so much.
And now Peter tells a lot of spiritual people in Germany, just saying,
spiritual people who are spiritual people.
In Germany, there's spiritual people. But being an engineer means you're a really left brainer. So you are in the box, actually, what we almost would call the fixed mindset, where you think, this is my reality. I'm 54. I've done this all my life. What else is there for me? How can you imagine that with quantum can create another future? So you already fixed who you are. You already fixed what you're doing. And in quantum field, we're opening up the creativity level more and more. So let's say you're working for a boss right now, and you start jumping into the quantum, and you see now a future where you see yourself having your own company, and maybe having it till you're 80 years old. So maybe 28 years to go. So there's so many possibilities in the quantum field. So what will happen when you go from the fixed mindset to the growth mindset to the quantum mind shift? More possibilities will open. Is it a trick? I don't believe so, because it's based on solid science. Well, and even the law of attraction, by the way, is based on the science of law of resonance. That it doesn't work for many people is because it was not a complete picture. It was just a tiny little bit, and for a lot of people it worked. For more people it didn't work, because it was just a little part of the puzzle. Quantum is more. We really believe we have the complete puzzle. Maybe we miss a little pieces here, but we didn't discover them.
Well, quantum has the puzzle, right? Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. And the difference between the law of attraction and quantum is there's one piece missing in the law of attraction to make it work. I mean, there are quite a few pieces missing, but the most important piece that's missing is that we need to think of the law of vibration. The law of vibration ranks higher than the law of attraction. Exactly. So it's all about what vibration are you vibing at right now? Are you angry and frustrated most of the time? Well, then don't be surprised that you'll have angry and frustrated people around you too, right? If you're feeling sad and your self-worth is below something, you will attract people like that in your outside too. So the moment you are able to gain control over your vibrations, your mind, your brain, that you know, what am I thinking about? How can I shift my energy? How can I change my attitude? You'll be able to change those things in your life, whether you're an engineer, a kindergarten teacher, or even a 9-year-old. So we develop these methods in our family with our children, with our loved ones. We test them, and we only teach what works for us. Absolutely. So all what we have taught up until now, all still is valid. It's just, it's now seems so much easier to teach because it's one science, and quantum science is that bridge between spirituality and science. It's no longer a gap, and that makes this time and age so exciting to live in, doesn't it?
So the good news for Peter is
there's hope for you, and so much out there you could have. Right.
And in the link we have also the meditation of the dragon is available. Super.
Yeah, grab your dragon meditation, people. And the best way to listen to these meditations is either take a power break throughout the day. We cannot stress it often enough how important it is to take a break throughout the day, to allow your brain to calm down, to get off the screen, get off your devices, and allow your brain to have a reboot. But we know most people are super, super busy and believe they don't have that time. Well, then if you believe that, then that is true. Then do the meditation before you sleep at night. Or set your alarm just half an hour early and wake up with it. You can still snooze, but you will wake up different. And I promise you, if you do this regularly, you will notice how your sleep gets better and deeper, how you have more energy throughout the day, and how you do start having these quantum connections and inspirations and just better ideas.
Super. There's a question from Angelique. What age can children start listening to the Omega healing CDs?
No, the dragon meditation.
No, she's for the Meta Source Omega. Yeah, basically, children are great, and the Omega also is about creating the fantasy. It's already quantum for children. I would say from 6-7 years old would be totally. Even as babies, if you hear in the background, they absorb that. So there's not real. I mean, I could think of some meditation that would be over the head in a cognitive level, but on an unconscious level, the soul grabs everything. It's about the positive intention behind the meditation that has bigger impact than just the words that we can understand or not.
Yeah, I think it's important just to ask yourself, what would you feed your brain with if you had a choice? And meditations, if you resonate with them and you like their message, are a beautiful way to program the brain in the way that is more beneficial for you. So I listened to brain trainings in all my pregnancies. My children all meditated with me. I don't think it's done them any harm. And I believe I've meditated with tiny ones because we have that natural ability, especially as children, to connect to the quantum field. There we actually need more protection and learning how to deal with it rather than the connection. The connection is not a problem for children. So I would go ahead and allow your children to listen to any meditations that you agree on the messaging, so that they are coming from love and supporting the highest good.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well,
and the dragon meditation, I would say kids can listen to.
Oh, that's fun.
Trust your kids. If they like it,
that'll be fun.
Then let them listen to it, but never force your children to listen to things, because they're, I think, forced enough in the wrong ways already.
And we do have a meditation for kids, which is called Kids with a Z, so you can always start with that. So
and the best way to motivate children to meditate is to meditate with them. So you go ahead, you be that shining role model, and I bet your kids will start getting interested, because they'll start seeing you shift and you change, and then they'll want to be part of that.
So we certainly hope you will share this video with your friends.
Yes, please share.
And, you know, the great thing of what we're doing in Italy, it can also be done by live stream and in your home. You don't even have to travel.
Have to come.
So there's no excuse. And the second thing that's great about live stream, you have the videos for life. So, you know, if you cannot do it right now, you can still sign up for the live stream. We believe it will totally shift you to a new level of looking at yourself and this planet that we live in.
And the early bird, it's the very last early bird. It's ending tomorrow, or very, very soon. So if you want to save some bucks, then order a live stream ticket and share it with friends, share it with your family. It's going to be really fun. And as I said, you can always, once the training is over, you can go back in the recordings, you can redo the clearings, you can do the tapping again, you can meditate again. And we have been told that the experience on live stream is really almost as good as being there, because the chat community that is created, the vortex of energy that is created in these big events is really, really powerful. So we have people tuning in from all over the world. Do not hesitate. If you are in a different time zone, it'll still work for you. And we are so excited to be quantum voyaging with you. Great.
Yes.
Do we have any? Oh, wait, we've got more questions here. Here we go. What about animals? I meditate with my dog sometimes, and it works for both. I do too. And you know, I've noticed when I meditate, my dogs are usually all over me. They want to be really close. They feel energy, right?
Especially when you're in the pyramid as well.
Yeah.
They love it.
Yeah, I have a little meditation cushion in our pyramid, and often all 3 dogs, and that's a lot of them, right, are trying to sit on this little cushion. So trust your animals, trust your children, trust your heart, trust your quantum self. And if you're feeling excited about the concept of being able to create the life that you truly want, then check out the links in the comments. Grab your free dragon meditation and come fly with us. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.